Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual on Firstpost, where we get you the top 50 stories of the day. I'm Alison LaGrange, live from Durban, South Africa. Let's begin. Now, Russian President Vladimir Putin has landed in North Korea. This marks his first visit to the country in 24 years. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un greeted Putin and gave him a hug on a red carpet upon his arrival in the capital Pyongyang. The leaders of the two nuclear-armed countries have begun talks aimed at bolstering defense and economic ties. The Pentagon has expressed concern over the growing ties between North Korea and Russia. The U.S. and its allies accuse North Korea of supplying weapons to Russia to fuel the war in Ukraine. Moscow and Pyongyang have denied any arms transfers. The Gazan government has warned that at least 3,500 children are at risk of dying due to malnourishment. A lack of basic necessities like food, medicines, and shelter puts their lives in danger. The Gaza Strip's ability to produce food and water has been hit by continuous Israeli strikes. Gaza's government has said the war-torn region is heading towards famine. The Israeli army claims to have conducted more airstrikes against the Lebanon-based Hezbollah group. Israel has released new footage of attacks on several locations in southern Lebanon. The Israeli forces say the airstrikes targeted quote-unquote Hezbollah terror infrastructure. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has accused the U.S. of withholding weapons. In a video released yesterday, Netanyahu said the holdup was delaying Israel's Gaza offensive. It was one of Netanyahu's harshest public criticisms of the Biden administration since the war in Gaza began. The remarks come even though the U.S. has withheld only one shipment of weapons so far. Now, reports say the White House has cancelled an upcoming meeting with Israeli officials. The meeting was scheduled for the 20th of June. U.S. and Israeli officials were reportedly going to discuss Iran during the meeting. The cancellation follows Netanyahu's public criticism of the U.S. for withholding weapons. U.S. President Joe Biden has unveiled plans for a massive immigration program. The new policy will fast-track permanent residency for almost 500,000 undocumented immigrants married to American citizens. The move will benefit couples where the undocumented spouse has been living in the United States for 10 years or more. Additionally, almost 50,000 children under the age of 21 who have a U.S. citizen parent will also benefit from the program. And Canada's Parliament observed a moment of silence yesterday to mark the death anniversary of the Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Nijjar was fatally shot outside a parking lot in Surrey in Canada on the 18th of June last year. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau had alleged that India was involved in his killing. India had asked him to provide evidence, and the incident has impacted India-Canada ties. The United Nations has once again called on Russia to withdraw from Ukraine. A top UN official called on Moscow to cease its attacks on civilians and Kiev's nuclear facilities. The Russian ambassador to the UN said that the UN official's statement had no political weight. And India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the new Nalanda University campus in the state of Bihar. He was accompanied by External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and some ambassadors from other nations. The new Nalanda campus is near the old university's ruins. The original Nalanda University is said to be one of the world's first residential colleges. It was founded almost 1,600 years ago. And over 330 protesters were arrested in Kenya's capital, Nairobi. The protesters were demonstrating against a slate of tax hikes that have been proposed in a new finance bill. The Kenyan government has scrapped most of the new tax hikes amid the protest clashes. Protesters said they will continue with their sit-ins outside parliament buildings despite the mass arrest. And this comes as the East African economic powerhouse struggles with a cost of living crisis. And South Africa's Cyril Ramaphosa was sworn in as the president for a second term. This marks the beginning of a one-of-a-kind administration that the country has experienced since apartheid ended. Ramaphosa's African National Congress Party will govern with the partnership of rival political parties after it failed to win an absolute majority in elections. The multi-party coalition includes the ANC's main opposition, the Democratic Alliance. In climate news, India is experiencing a deadly heat wave. The mercury touched a record 34 degrees Celsius in various parts of North India yesterday night. Now, Delhi experienced its warmest night yesterday in June in 6 years. And according to reports, hundreds of Hajj pilgrims have died of extreme heat. At least 550 have died, including 323 Egyptians. The temperature touched 51 degrees Celsius this week in Mecca. Saudi authorities said that over 2,000 pilgrims suffered from heat stress during the pilgrimage. And Balkan countries are bracing for a sweltering heat wave. Parts of Finland touched 35 degrees Celsius yesterday, while in North Macedonia, the mercury has been forecast to cross 39 degrees Celsius this week. In Serbia, authorities have issued warnings in light of high temperatures this week. Record-setting heat waves have gripped central and northeastern states of the U.S. Officials warn that it could become a deadly weather event. Temperatures in some parts touched nearly 34 degrees Celsius, and officials have set up cooling stations for people seeking respite from the heat. In the U.S. state of New Mexico, raging wildfires have destroyed over 500 structures, including countless houses. Thousands of people were forced out of their homes. The governor of New Mexico declared a state of emergency and said the fire was beyond local control. And a fast-spreading wildfire has burned over 5,000 acres of land in California's Calaveras County. Strong winds caused the fire to spread faster. Dozens of firefighters and aircraft have been deployed to douse the flames. The cause of the fire is under investigation. And Mexico is bracing for a potential cyclone. The Weather Service predicted intense rains in the coastal areas today. The rain is expected to be accompanied by gusts and hail. It could also lead to landslides and an increase in the levels of rivers and streams. The annual flooding season is in full swing in southern China. At least a dozen have died so far in rain-induced mudslides or floods. The rescue operations are still on to relocate people to safer areas and shelters. And American chipmaker Nvidia has become the world's most valuable company. Now, yesterday it dethroned Microsoft from the top spot after its shares hit an all-time high. The company's shares rose 3.5% to nearly $136. This pushed its market valuation to $3.335 trillion, edging past Microsoft's $3.315 trillion. Nvidia's meteoric rise comes amid soaring demand for its AI chips. And in other business news, semiconductor firm Qualcomm has agreed to pay $75 million. This is over a lawsuit accusing the chipmaker of defrauding its shareholders. The preliminary settlement was filed with the federal court in San Diego. Qualcomm has denied any wrongdoing while agreeing to settle. Apple has reportedly stopped working on the next generation of its Vision Pro headset. This comes amid declining sales of the high-end headset. Reports say the iPhone maker is focusing on releasing another affordable headset with less features. The U.S. Federal Trade Commission has referred a complaint against TikTok and its parent company ByteDance to the Department of Justice. The complaint was related to potential violations of children's privacy. TikTok has said that it has been working with the FTC for over a year to address the concerns. The firm added that it is disappointed that the agency is now pursuing litigation. And ratings agency Fitch has raised its GDP growth forecast for India to 7.2% for the year 2024 to 25. Earlier, it expected the economy to grow by 7%. Fitch has cited the recovery in consumer spending and increased investment for its revision. Mining firm Vedanta Resources is planning to cut its debt by $3 billion in the next 3 years. The firm's debt stands at $6 billion as of the financial year 2024, and this is weighed down on the company with a host of rating downgrades. Boeing CEO David Calhoun apologized to the families of victims who died in 2 consequent 737 MAX plane crashes in 2018 and 2019. The 2 mishaps had resulted in the deaths of at least 340 people. This as Calhoun appeared before the U.S. Senate and was grilled for the recurrent safety lapses at the firm. Now, the Boeing CEO is due to step down at the end of this year. Calhoun had announced his decision following the near-fatal door blowout incident in January of this year. Amazon has been slapped with a fine of $5.9 million. This is for a violation of state law in California. The state's labor regulator stated that Amazon failed to inform workers about productivity quotas at 2 warehouses. Productivity quotas are the number of hourly tasks required to be done to avoid being penalized. California's law mandates employers to provide written quotas to workers. Johnson & Johnson is facing a new lawsuit. It seeks damages on behalf of women diagnosed with cancer. That's allegedly after using the company's talc and other products. The recent lawsuit is the first to seek regular testing to detect cancer early. However, Johnson & Johnson maintains that its talc is safe and does not cause cancer. And Ferrari is set to introduce its first fully electric vehicle. It will reportedly cost over $500,000. The company plans to unveil its electric car in late 2025. Moving to sports news now, and we start with cricket. New Zealand's Kane Williamson has stepped down as captain in the white ball format. He has declined to renew his captaincy contract for 2024-25. This comes after New Zealand suffered an early exit from the T20 World Cup. Pakistani fast bowler Haris Rauf got into an ugly spat with fans in the US. A video that went viral on social media showed him involved in a heated exchange with a man. Rauf was seen pushing and shoving in the video. And in football, Portugal fought back from a goal down to beat the Czech Republic in their Euro 2024 opener. Czech Republic took the lead on a goal by Lucas Provod in the 62nd minute. Then Portugal equalized after a Czech defender scored an own goal. Now, Francisco Conceição scored a late winner for Portugal to seal the match. Meanwhile, Portuguese centre-back Pepe became the oldest player to play in the history of the European Championship. This happened after Pepe, who is aged 41 years and 113 days, was named in the team for a Euro 2024 group match. The previous record was held by former Hungary goalkeeper Gabor Kiraly. And former Indian football coach Igor Stimac has warned that All India Football Federal, or the AIFF, of legal action. Stimac was recently sacked and warned that he would file a lawsuit against the body if his payments are not cleared within 10 days. He also criticized the AIFF president and called his dismissal unjust. In tennis, men's world number 1 Jannik Sinner of Italy is through to the round of 16 at the Hull Open. He took 3 sets to down Talon Griekspoor of the Netherlands 6-7, 6-3, 6-2. Sinner's next opponent is Fabian Marozsan of Hungary. And men's world number 3 Novak Djokovic of Serbia will be playing at the upcoming Paris Olympics. This was confirmed by the Olympics Committee of Serbia yesterday. If he plays, this summer will be Djokovic's 5th Olympic appearance. And Carlos Alcaraz of Spain got off to a winning start at the Queen's Club Championship. The 21-year-old recorded a straight-set victory over Argentina's Francisco Garandolo. Alcaraz won 6-1, 7-5 in his first round. He next plays Jack Draper of the UK next. And Indian ace javelin thrower Neeraj Chopra bagged gold at the Paavo Nurmi Games in Finland. Chopra lodged the best throw of the night. He recorded a distance of 85.97 meters, which was enough to grab the top spot. And China named its swimming squad for the upcoming Paris Games. 11 swimmers in the team for the Paris Games are implicated in a doping scandal. Ahead of the 2021 Tokyo Games, the Chinese swimmers tested positive for a banned drug. Now, these swimmers were not sanctioned, as Chinese authorities argued the positive test resulted from contaminated food. And in entertainment news, Donald Trump is disappointed with Kim Kardashian. He felt betrayed when she shared a celebratory post after Joe Biden won the presidential elections in 2020. Trump said in an interview that he gets along with Kardashian, and her then-husband, rapper Ye, even endorsed him. Pop star Justin Timberlake was arrested in New York. He was held on suspicion of driving under the influence of alcohol. According to reports, he even refused to take a breathalyzer test. However, after spending a night in jail, he was arraigned and later released. And Euphoria star Jacob Elordi has become the latest victim of deepfakes. He has been targeted by sexually explicit deepfakes. The video has gone viral on social media platform X and has garnered millions of views. Ian McKellen was taken to the hospital after he suffered injuries during a play in London. He fell from the stage during a fight scene and injured himself. The actor is now recovering and is looking forward to coming back soon. And according to reports, Jackie Chan visited a club in Canada's Montreal City. The actor interacted with fans and even danced with them, and he is there to reportedly shoot for the upcoming Karate Kid film. The shooting of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms has begun in Ireland. It is a spin-off of the hit HBO series The Game of Thrones. The story has been adapted from George R.R. Martin's novel The Hedge Knight. Actors like Finn Bennett, Bertie Carvel, and Daniel Ings are a part of the cast. Diljit Dosanjh delivered a power-packed performance at The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. He showed the audience his Bhangra moves along with singing songs like Goat and Born to Shine. Dosanjh even taught Fallon a few Punjabi language words after his performance. And musicians Doja Cat and Post Malone will be headlining this year's Global Citizen Festival. The concert will be held in September in New York City's Central Park. Actor Hugh Jackman will be the event's host. South Korean singer Lisa will soon release a new single. The Blackpink girl group singer took to social media to share the update. She is calling the song Rockstar. Her company has collaborated with the RCA Records to produce the song. And South Korean singer Jimin is all set to release his second solo album. The BTS band singer will unveil the next album next month on the 19th of July. The singer took to social media to share the teaser, and he is seen in a room of purple lockers with a music sheet in his hands. And that's it on today's episode of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Firstpost.